America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. I became a Democrat 9 weeks ago, 2 months ago. One of the principal reasons why I became a Democrat is to, man, in just my own little old way, if I can help teach, help work with, help demonstrate, show Democrats how to fight. How to fight. Man, if I can do that, then lay me down to rest, hopefully 20, 30, 40 years from now, and I will have felt like I lived a worthwhile life. And I mean that. I'm not being cute or trite with my language. You know me well enough. Hello, TikTok. Yeah, Paul, I did try to help Kamala. She didn't win. Your guy won. But you know the cool difference, Paul? Paul's a MAGA guy listening to me on Facebook right now. The big difference, Paul, between, say, Kamala Harris and me and you and Donald Trump, when Kamala Harris lost last November, you know what she did, Paul? It's an amazing fucking thing. By the way, this is a lesson for everybody. Demonstrating how to fight. I got MAGA in my ear right now. Hey, Joe, you tried to help Kamala win and you didn't succeed, man. You failed. Yeah, but I want to talk about something here, Paul, Mr. MAGA Paul, my friend, my brother. I'll never lie to you, Paul. Trump will lie to you, Paul. I'll never lie to you. The cool difference is when Kamala Harris lost last November. Do you remember what Kamala Harris did? An amazing thing. She stood in front of the American people and she conceded. She accepted the election results. Like every candidate for president in American history, except for one, have done since our very beginning. Kamala Harris had the guts and the decency and the love of country to concede after she lost. And me, as a supporter of Kamala Harris, when it was clear Trump won that night, I said Trump won. I don't like it, pisses me off, but the American people have spoken. An amazing thing, Paul, right? Didn't used to be amazing. Used to just be the way it is. You fight hard. You try as hard as you can for your side to win, but you come up short, you lose. And then, right, it's all about the American people spoke. You accept the will of the American people and you concede, you accept the election result and you move on. Paul, you didn't do that, Mr. MAGA supporter. You still think Trump won. Paul, you didn't have the courage or the decency, Paul, or love of country to accept the will of the people. And Donald Trump, oh my God, right? Donald Trump, the only candidate for president in American history who lost an election and didn't concede and refused to accept the results. Trump was on CNBC this morning saying that he won the 2020 election. Donald Trump is the biggest coward. I used to say pussy, but I'm not going to say that anymore out of respect for women. He's the biggest coward in American history. Donald Trump is the biggest sore loser in American history. Democrats, fight back. Again, if I can do nothing but help show, teach Democrats how to fight back, then my becoming a Democrat will have been worth it. I've always been a fighter politically. I used to be a right-wing fighter. And I used to do a lot of what the right does. Engage in this culture war bullshit. And the right engages in the culture war bullshit because they know it connects with a lot of Americans when you're talking about cops and transgender Americans and race and Black Lives Matter and Muslims and guns, all this shit the right throws out there. They know that, and Democrats, you need to hear me. It matters. This culture war stuff matters. I know Democrats love, my fellow Democrats love to think that they can just exist up in the clouds and they're too good for, and they don't need to think about all this culture war shit that the right puts out there. But average, regular Americans, white, black, and brown, the culture war stuff matters. And the right has always known that they can engage in the culture wars, and the left, Dems, will never fight back. You've heard it now a million times. Probably the most effective ad in the 2024 presidential election was that transgender ad of Trump's, right? She's for they, them, I'm for you. Man, Trump spent $200 million in the state of Pennsylvania alone on that ad, and it was effective. But you know why it was really, really effective, Democrats? Because you looked the other way. You turned the other way. You didn't engage. You didn't fight. Kamala Harris, the Harris campaign, just let it hang out there. She's for they, them. I'm for you. Kamala Harris did, and the Democrats did then what they always do with this culture war bullshit. They just ignored it. They didn't think it mattered with the American people, and it does. Democrats got to fight back on the culture war stuff. Democrats, right? They didn't fight back on defund the police. They didn't fight back on Black Lives Matter. They didn't fight back on all lives matter, the right would shout. Back in my day, I shouted that. All lives matter when I heard Black Lives Matter. The Dems don't engage. Democrats look down on this culture war stuff and they don't engage in the culture wars, and it ends up hurting them politically. Look, we're seeing this. We're seeing the opposite of this play out with this whole Sydney Sweeney blue jeans thing. Democrats are beginning to learn that you got to fight back. And Democrats fought back and are fighting back against this Sydney Sweeney American Eagle jeans ad. And it's working. Democrats are beginning to realize you can't just let this culture war bullshit hang out there. You know the deal. I've talked about it a little bit. Sydney Sweeney, who's just gorgeous, gorgeous young woman. By the way, looks great, looks hot in a pair of jeans. Love it. The ad came out of her in provocative poses in jeans, about a week or two ago. And some voices on the left, I guess, objected to the ad because it's about eugenics and Nazism and white nationalism, and it's jeans. It's about GENES. It's all about white jeans, and they're pushing a white nationalist agenda, all that. A few voices on the left, it's important, objected to the Sydney Sweeney in a pair of jeans ad. And the minute they did, a few voices on the left, the right pounced. The right pounced. Fox News pounced. Oh my God, Democrats hate blue jeans. Democrats hate gorgeous young blonde women. Democrats don't like hot women. The right wing culture war machine kicked in. It's what they do. It's what I used to do. Not as much as they do it, but I used to do some of it more than I'm proud of. Like there would be, remember the day, there would be like one grammar school in Sacramento, California, that didn't allow the singing of Silent Night at their Christmas pageant, or they changed the name of their Christmas pageant. One grammar school in Sacramento, and by God, that would be the story on every Fox News show that night. My God, they would say, this is happening all over the country. They're taking Jesus out of Christmas. I used to do some of that, and it's really effective. They'd lie, they'd demagogue, they'd bullshit, but they'd get their people, their audience, to think this is happening everywhere. And Republican elected officials would chime in. Now Trump chimes in. They all do it. Elon Musk will chime in. And it becomes a big story, especially because we always knew Democrats would never fight back. Democrats would never say, that's fucking bullshit. One grammar school outside of Sacramento won't let the kids sing Silent Night. And by the way, kids should be able to sing Silent Night during Christmas, at Christmas, in a Christmas pageant. You ought to be able to call it a Christmas pageant. Grow up, America. Like Democrats, many of whom agree with everything I just said, because it was a culture war fight, and they might be worried about a few voices on their left, they wouldn't fight back or engage. Well, so this Sydney Sweeney thing hits 8 days ago, and right away the right pounces. But this time, the left and Democrats said, wait a minute. We're not making a big deal out of this. Sure, maybe a couple people think that American Eagle ad has something to do with white supremacy or whatever. I don't know. My God, she's just a young, gorgeous woman in a pair of jeans. Don't put this on Democrats. Don't put this on the left. No, Republicans, no Fox News. We're not going to let you just bulldoze over us with this culture war. Democratic voices, by the way, I'm a new Democrat, like me, stood up publicly and said, bullshit. Ain't no story here. Gorgeous young woman, pair of jeans, love it. 99% of Democrats feel the same damn way. No, Fox News, we're not going to let you play your culture war outrage machine. We're in day 8 now. Hold on a minute. Of this supposed Sydney Sweeney culture war scandal. And because Democrats pushed back from the beginning, the only people talking about this thing, this Sydney Sweeney thing, is the right, is Fox News. I mean, it's day 8 today, and it's the topic on every Fox News show. Look at this. Put up that graphic, Keith. TikTok, you can't see that. I'll show it to you, TikTok. Every Fox News show leading with, talking about, keep that graphic up for a minute, Keith, thank you. Talking about, pushing. Oh my God, the left hates blue jeans. The left hates gorgeous young white women. They're the only ones talking about it. Fox News and the right, and even some Republican elected officials are still trying to make it a thing. My point is, Democrats, because this culture war thing came up 8 days ago, and we all said, no, we're not going to let Republicans and Fox News do their normal thing and pin this defund the police on all of us. A lot of loud Democratic voices pushed back hard. And it's the right now. It's Fox News talking to themselves about it. This is how you engage and fight back on culture war issues, Democrats. You don't ignore it. Like think about it. 8 days ago, the right-wing culture war machine, of which I used to be a part, right away they cranked it up. Democrats hate capitalism. Democrats hate blue jeans. Democrats hate gorgeous young white women. Right away, the right-wing machine did their culture war stuff, as they always do, right? Defund the police, as they always do. She's for they, them, I'm for you, as they always do. But this time, the Democrats said, we're not having any of it. If Democrats hadn't spoken up against it, like, this is bullshit, you're making a big deal out of nothing, you're trying to manufacture a culture war. If Democrats, loud Democratic voices, I mean, people who don't normally engage in this stuff, as a new Democrat, I've only been a Democrat 9 weeks, I've found there is an elitist attitude among Dems. It's there. I knew it before I became a Democrat. I've heard it and I see it every day. I don't have that because I just come from baby regular America. But there is this elitist attitude that many Democrats have, that we're too smart, we're too enlightened, we're too well read. Oh my God, to even comment on this Sydney Sweeney jeans thing. No, 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 no. That's for just plebeians. That's for just the regular folk out there. We're way too enlightened for that. I'll tell you what, there are still those Democratic voices on this Sydney Sweeney thing that have been out, but a lot of Democrats who ordinarily ignore culture war stuff like this, Democratic elected officials, voices on MSNBC, Democratic thinkers and talkers, they engaged from the beginning on this. They pushed back from the beginning. I pushed back from the beginning. Like, I right away said to these few voices on the left making a big deal out of this, excuse me, come on, just a gorgeous young woman in a pair of jeans. Can we move on? I hear you, but can we move on? But then right away it was, watch the right. Watch what the right's going to do. They're going to keep this sucker alive. They're going to keep this scandal, this thing alive. And a lot of Democratic voices engaged and said, screw you, Fox News. We don't give a damn about a blue jeans ad. And now here we are 8 days later. Fox News is talking to themselves. My God, through the end of Friday last week, Fox News on average every day devoted 85 minutes a day to the Sydney Sweeney issue, and they devoted 3 minutes a day to the Epstein issue. 85 minutes a day on average, that was through Friday, to Sydney Sweeney, and 3 minutes a day to the Epstein files. You can see what they're doing, right? They're ignoring the economy. They're ignoring the jobs numbers. They're ignoring the Epstein files. And they're trying to talk about the left and blue jeans and Sydney Sweeney. Lesson, my fellow Democrats. We fucking fight back. God, guns, gays, transgender Americans, blacks, whites, race, Muslims, all the culture war stuff that the right wing, that gives life to the right wing. And trust me, coming from that world, it gave some life to me. All of these culture war issues, Democrats, don't ignore, don't think you're too good and smart and enlightened to engage in and talk about. Fight back, stand up, punch back on all of these culture war issues. I do believe, as I close this, I don't know that Kamala Harris would have won. Joe Biden really mucked everything up. Kamala Harris ran a really good campaign. She did two things that I wish she hadn't done. When she was on The View and she was asked, is there one thing where you and Biden disagree? Man, that was like That was like a humongous opening, and I wish she had taken that opening. And the other thing was, I wish she went everywhere, every podcast, every network, Fox News, everywhere, and just fought. And when Trump spent $200 million in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan on that transgender ad, I wish Kamala Harris had fought back. I wish she had fought back. And I've said this before, the vast majority of Americans are where the Democratic Party is on the transgender issue. The vast majority of Americans are where I am on the transgender issue. Transgender Americans should have every right that every American has. Transgender Americans should be able to fight in our military. God bless. We embrace our transgender Americans. Let them live their truth. Let them, thank God, they can identify as they want to identify. Them. We embrace them. We love them. We give them all equal rights and everything. When it comes to athletic competition, fairness must rule, period. And a transgender woman competing with a cisgender woman, that ain't fair. So we got to do something about that athletic competition. That's it. What I just said right there is where 90% of Americans are on the transgender issue. That's where the Democratic Party should be on the Democratic issue. That's where the Democratic Party is close enough to on the transgender issue. MAGA and the Republican Party, what's their stance on transgender Americans? Transgender Americans, it's a mental illness. It's a sickness. It shouldn't exist. They shouldn't be able to serve in the military. Shun them. That's MAGA's. That's the Republican Party stance on transgender Americans. You tell me who's closer to where most Americans are. But Democrats, my fellow Democrats, if we never fucking fight back on the transgender issue, well, then we'll get tagged as the transgender issue or as the transgender side that wants men competing with women in sports if we don't fight back and push back against that. You get my point. I was on Piers Morgan yesterday, and this is a big part of what I said, because Piers Morgan, all he wants to do, guys, is talk about the transgender issue. And I said, look, Dems got to talk about it and fight back because they are where most Americans are. One other quick topic today, Cory Booker. Cory Booker. Bad answer. Weak answer. Cowardly answer. Wrong answer. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker yesterday was asked up on Capitol Hill. He was asked 4 times, will you he's in New Jersey. That's really close to New York City. He was asked by the CNN guy, Manu Raju, 4 times, will you endorse Zoran Mamdani, the Democratic nominee for mayor of New York City? Cory Booker was asked 4 times. He wouldn't each and every time. Here's one of them. Go ahead, Keith.
I'm wondering if part of the issue with your party, do you think, is not embracing enough of the energy on the left flank of your party? You're seeing what's happening in your neighboring state in New York. Zoran Mamdani, he's the Democratic candidate, Democratic socialist candidate there. Democratic leaders are not supporting him. Is that a problem? Do you support him?
So you and I are going to have this conversation, and I'm going to say to you one day, I told you so. This is not a left-right issue. It really isn't. It is an authoritarian versus people who want pragmatic government that makes a difference in the lives of American people. I'm one of these people that says the lines that divide us in America are not nearly as strong as the ties that bind us. Big corporations, people want to keep our eyes on the screen, want to pit us against each other and tell us how much we should hate each other. I'm sorry. The left-right lens is not the right lens.
Ask him again, Manu.
Right now it is, can we get back to the pragmatic work of governing?
Blah, blah, blah. Are you going to support him?
I have learned a long time ago. Let New York politics be New York politics.
Coward.
We got enough challenges in Jersey. I got a governor's race. I'm supporting Mikey Sherrill.
No time.
Races. That's where my energy is going to go going into November.
My God.
New York City, I love you. You're my neighbor. You're about 10 miles
bullshit.
from where I live.
Stop, Keith. Stop. That's enough Cory Booker for one day. Damn it! He was asked 3 more times, will you endorse Mamdani? And he just wouldn't. Got too much time on my hands. I'm focused on New Jersey. By the way, Cory Booker had no problem endorsing Mike Bloomberg when Mike Bloomberg ran for mayor of New York City. Look, Democrats, my fellow Democrats, wake the fuck up. I'll be really short and sweet. Nothing matters right now. Nothing matters right now more than defeating fascism. Nothing. And fascism is here. It has overtaken my former political party. Now, Democrats, it's going to take a real big tent to defeat my former political party. It's going to take a real big tent to defeat fascism. Follow me? It's going to take a tent big enough for lefty Zoran Mamdani and conservative Democrat Joe Walsh. I just became a Democrat, Democrats, and I'm asking Democrats to embrace me. And I'm no far lefty. How dare I then say, well, we shouldn't embrace far lefties like Zoran Mamdani? Excuse me, big tent. If I want Mamdani to endorse me, I'm going to endorse Mamdani. We're both on the same team. Cory Booker, this fear that Democrats have to embrace a big fucking tent and support and endorse Zoran Mamdani is gutless, and it's wrong, and politically it's going to hurt them. Again, our only litmus test, Democrats, right now, all of us, our only litmus test should be, do you support freedom, democracy, the Constitution, the rule of law, pluralism, and basic human decency? If you support those basic principles, man, you're in my tent. I'm in your tent. We're in a big old tent because right now we all got to be in that big old tent to defend those principles and defeat fascism. I get a lot of my followers, supporters don't like it when I say this because I'm super pro-Israel. And I got a lot of Jewish Democratic friends who have a real problem with Mamdani. I do not like Mamdani's stance on Israel. I think and hope he cleans it up. Zoran Mamdani and I disagree on Israel. We disagree on the level of taxation. I could go on and on down the line. We can engage in those policy disagreements in the same tent, because I have no doubt Mamdani supports democracy and the rule of law and pluralism and basic human decency. So it's very easy for me to endorse and support Mamdani. And it pisses me off that so many Democrats, like New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, are just afraid to do it. You want to win or not, Cory? You want to defeat fascism or not, Cory Booker? Suck it up, man. Big tent, man. Do you really believe in that principle? Or does every Democrat, do we have to be like the Republicans? Republicans don't have a big tent. My former party is, are you with Trump? And if you say yes, you're in the tent. If you say no, or I don't know, you're out of the tent. You want to be like that, Democrats? Like we all have to believe the same thing about Israel? We all have to believe the same thing about government-run grocery stores? Really? If you believe that, the tent's not going to be very big. It slays me because this is an ongoing conversation. I had a conversation 2 days ago with a longtime Democrat, lives in New York City, and can't support Mamdani. And he and I had a phone conversation. And here I am, a guy who's only been a Democrat for 2 months, a very conservative Democrat, and I am respectfully slapping this guy over the phone upside the head. Come on, I'm trying to wake him up and get with it Embrace the big tent for now because we're trying to defeat fascism. Mamdani's on our team. Embrace him, endorse him. We can go at the policy differences later. Man, disappointing, Cory Booker. Disappointing by a lot of Democrats. And by the way, politically, it's stupid. A lot of young folks, a lot of young Democrats, a lot of young left progressives love him. Get them in the Democratic tent. Seems so damn basic to this new Democrat. I'll stop there, guys, this Tuesday. Couple quick things. Go to my Substack. Subscribe to my Substack. Social Contract with Joe Walsh.substack.com. It's how I keep myself going. Everything I do, say, write, think is on my Substack. Go there. Social Contract with Joe Walsh.substack.com. Love me. Love you, love me, support me, go to my Substack and subscribe. You constantly see that No Kings meme above me over that shoulder. There it is. Go to oneflaginitiative.org. Haven't mentioned in a while. Go to that website. Thanks, Keith. That's all one word. oneflaginitiative.org. Go there and join me in the No Kings movement. Thank you, Linda Lowe. Go subscribe. Join me in the No Kings movement. oneflaginitiative.org, all one word. It's a growing movement. Millions of us just embracing that simple American principle that we do not have kings in this country. Nope, nope, nope. Ain't going to happen. Never will. Become part of this movement. Go to oneflaginitiative.org and join me in the No Kings movement. I love you all. Have a great Tuesday. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social